All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
Welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know if you can hear me. I definitely can't hear myself. Live chat, let me know if you can hear me or not. We can hear you though. Brilliant. Normally I could hear myself. That's strange. It is what it is. Loud and clear. That's great. Okay. Great to have each and every one of you guys here. Miz is late. Sorry, I'm a tad bit late, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Just bear with me 1 second, guys. Yeah. Something's wrong with my mic. But anyway, it is what it is. Good to see each and every one of you guys. Smash the like button as soon as you come through. Over 100 people live already after 1 minute. It's going to be a banging show. It will be a banging show, that's for sure. There's a lot to talk about in regards to Graham Potter. There's a lot to talk about in regards to Andrey Santos. There's, of course, a lot to talk about in regards to Joao Felix. So it's going to be quite exciting, quite entertaining. Yeah, I mean, look, how do we feel? Let's get into the news. Let's get into the news immediately. Let's straight away get into the news. Okay. This is what has dropped in the last probably couple of hours or so, in the last hour, to be honest. It's from David Ornstein, and the Oni has done a madness. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. The feeling within Chelsea hierarchy is that Graham Potter should be judged in years, not months, and they are confident they have one of the best managers in the game. He will not be judged if they do not qualify for the Champions League. So, look, I think we've all said, Chelsea making the Champions League is not going to be an easy feat. It's going to be very difficult to make it to the top four. But to say that he's not going to be judged in years, it's going to be in months. I mean, what is it? I guess, what does that mean for us? What does it say? Are these owners just willing to stick by Graham Potter, even if we don't really win anything? Yeah, it's a bit strange. The feeling within the Chelsea hierarchy is that Graham Potter should be judged in years, not months. Man, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, look, in one hand, I think fair enough. Fair enough, you want to back a particular manager. But on the other hand, I'm thinking, I mean, are we setting ourselves up in the likes of how Arsenal moved? Eighth, fifth. Do you know what I mean? Eighth, fifth. I don't know if we need to go through all of that. Surely we should be demanding something of this season as well in terms of Champions League. Look, in the Premier League, I'm not too bothered about it. Obviously, I want to win some Premier League games. There's no doubt about that. But I mean, is it okay if we get knocked out against Dortmund? Is that all right? With all the investment that the owners have made, is it okay? That's where I'm a little bit stranged out. Look, seems like the owners really trust this guy. Seems like the owners really, really hold Graham Potter at a very, very high level. How do we feel as a fan base? How do you guys feel in the live chat? Let me know how you feel about the fact that he'll be judged in years, not months. Okay, fair enough. Doesn't have to be months, but years. How many years are we talking about? How many years until we can actually judge this guy? Furthermore, it goes on to say Chelsea feel Potter coming in the mid-season with a squad that needed such a big overhaul meant success was always unlikely in the short term, and that there is still a lot of change to come to what is now a youthful team. it felt he has been unlucky with injuries too. Fair enough. I mean, these are some valid points. These are not some stupid points. These are absolutely valid points. Himanshu, thank you so much for the super chat, my man. I'm Potter in. I want to break the cycle where we fire a manager without giving him time and trying to get rid of players that next manager don't want. Okay, fair enough. I mean, but surely there has to be a limit, no? What's the limit? Okay, fine. Let's say this season, it is what it is. We don't worry about this season. We're not really going to get anything out of the Premier League. And okay, if we get knocked out in the Champions League, we get knocked out. But then what's the aim next season? What's the aim next season? How long are we willing to wait around? When do you actually come and say, do you know what? Maybe you're not it. When does that time come? When we've exhausted every bit of avenue? When Graham Potter has all the players that he needs, all the players that the owners are going to get him, when Graham Potter has the correct medical staff, when Potter has, gotten rid of all the players that probably don't deserve to be at Chelsea football, is that like until that entire transformation happens, is that how long we're going to wait around? Until then, surely we should demand a level of improvement in the squad, a level of improvement in individuals, no? Like, yeah, I just find it very, very strange. Let's see what you guys are saying about this. Let's have a look at some of your comments. It's not like Potter doesn't have a philosophy, but I haven't seen him implement it yet here at Chelsea. Something must be wrong. I mean, look, it comes down to those points. There's been players that have been injured. There's been a big overhaul of new players coming in. We need to get rid of a lot more players. But I feel like from here on till the end of the season, there's still a lot of matches left. Surely we can't just go, do you know what? Do whatever you want. Surely there needs to be some level of accountability, no? I don't know. Like, I feel like we can't just give a blank check for this season. There has to be some level of improvement. We have to see something, right? That makes us believe that, yeah, okay, something's going good. Because according to me, I don't think the owners would be that stupid to blindly ignore the results. There will be a breaking point for them too. Actually, to me, it's UCL crashing in Southampton match. For me, this is what I thought as well. I thought if we get knocked out by Dortmund and then we don't produce a winner against Southampton, mind you, Southampton, they're in turmoil. They just sacked another coach this season. I don't know whether they're going to have a manager by the time they play us, but you sure best believe that there's going to be some sort of a bounce when they meet us. But I don't care. We need to win that. We've not won against Fulham. We've not won against West Ham. Surely Southampton. Like, those are two matches I probably penciled down to win. So I would find it very, very strange if our owners, it's an open check. Like, it's whatever happens this season. I would find it very strange. Luis Enrique is available, ladies and gentlemen. Look, I honestly, I don't mind Luis Enrique. There's other names floating out. Obviously, Hansi Flick. Flick would be an amazing appointment. Can't bring in a manager without winning anything. Bowley is waiting for Flick after Euros 2024. Perhaps. I mean, these owners, surely they would have a contingency plan. They would have a contingency plan. You see how Todd Bowley has been reacting recently when he's in the match, like he's disappointed. Surely he can't allow for this disappointment to run too long. Do you know what I mean? Todd B is the problem here. He dropped our standard by not setting a standard. He sacked TT at the wrong time and hired GP based on Twitter. That's life. That's life. Look, I don't want to bash the owners because I feel like the owners have done an amazing job in the January transfer window. They've shown immense ambition. They care about the football club. That much I am now absolutely sold on. They got rid of TT. I think it was a mistake, but from their perspective, they believe that they wanted a particular manager that can collaborate, that can communicate, that can share the knowledge, which Graham Potter is. No problems. You choose who you want to choose. But there comes a time where you've made an appointment, but you've got to realize that, do you know what? It's just not working out. It's just not working out. Now, this season, if you think it's a complete write-off, no matter what Graham Potter does, it's a write-off. Then what is the expectation next season? I need these owners to come out and actually give out some expectations. Okay, write this season off, because the owners are the ones that can set the fans up. The owners need to come out and say, do you know what? This season, guys, calm down. Calm down. It doesn't matter. Whatever happens. If we get knocked out of Champions League, we get knocked out of Champions League. If we don't achieve anything in the Premier League and we are 10th, 9th, 8th, whatever the case is, it is what it is. At least then we get the impression that, okay, the owners are communicating with us directly and setting the expectations for all of us. And then they need to give us an outline as to what we can expect next season. Because right now, I'm a little bit confused as to what the expectations are. Look at these poor fans blaming the owners who spent. Yeah, look, I'm not blaming owners. I'm not blaming the owners. Next season, top 4 is the objective. The following season, challenge. Okay, so this season, write-off. This season, write-off. Next season, top 4. The following season, challenge. Okay, if that's the case, let's keep it accountable. If Potter doesn't reach top 4 next season, what happens then? I need the club to be accountable. Like most of us in life, we're accountable. If we don't meet our targets, you don't get bonus, or you don't, sometimes you may even lose the job. But are we going to be accountable? Are the managers going to be accountable? Do we have a thing to offer in Champions League? I say absolutely no, because it seems coach has lost everything, lack of tactical approach in every match. Royston, good to see you, my man. Miz, new owners come with new standards. It's not Roman anymore. We do not know what their standards are. Fair enough, but I think they need to explain their standards. I loved what the new owners have done in the January window. I loved all the different, off-field signings that we've made in the likes of Christopher Pavel, Joe Shields, Lawrence Stewart, Paul Winstanley, and many more. I loved everything that they're doing to create a structure for this organization. But I now want them to come out and give us an explanation as to what the standards are, what the expectations are. I think that would be good to know that. Potter can't win anything with this attitude. Well, the owners seem to think otherwise, man. I think we'll see their standard in the next 2 to 3 years. 2 to 3 years. I mean, I'm happy to accept this season to be a write-off. That's fine. I'm happy to accept that, if that's the case. But as you're saying, Himanshu, 2 to 3 years, am I just going into the wilderness? Am I just going into the wilderness? Like, I would need to know where the next 2 to 3 years is going. Do you know what I mean? Spending money doesn't mean they are right to lower the standards of the club. No, they're not. You'd think spending money means you're going to up the standards, if anything. What you guys mean that they haven't explained any standards? Bowley literally had an interview to explain what was their plan and what the expectation. People got short-term memory loss. So what was the start? Why didn't you outline it? I do have short-term memory loss. Why don't you outline it and let me know? Because I know what they said in regards to, stadium redevelopment. Focusing a lot more on data-driven analysis to find players. Multi-club model. They've talked about marketing, sponsorship. I've not really heard them talk about expectations. What is it? Going for Premier League titles by next year or the year after. being in the hunt for Champions League titles as well. Like, I've not really explicitly heard them talk about silverware. Do you know what I mean? For me, short story, he ain't the guy for this club. We deep down know this, but just backing him blindly. Look, I mean, seems like the owners, ladies and gentlemen, seems like the owners have really feels like they've doubled down, haven't they? They kind of doubled down. They really believe in Graham Potter. They like his attitude. They like his character, and yeah, I hope this guy can start delivering some wins and give something to the fan base to cheer about. Because at the moment, 2 wins in the last 13 Premier League games is tough on the fans. It's very tough, and it's not something that we've associated Chelsea with in previous years. So wins are what will make us believe. To be honest, we're not taking advantage of teams dropping points. We could be now 5 to 6 points behind Newcastle. 100%. Newcastle, they look a bit shady. Means I feel like you want Potter to fail. Embarrassing. Okay, you may feel like that. I'm gonna come out in the open and let you know. Why will I want a particular manager to fail? What do I have to gain from this manager failing? I love the football club. I want Chelsea to do well. Why would you feel I am wanting this guy to fail? What benefit do I get out of that? I literally suffer every weekend, along with all you guys. I don't want him to fail, but I have doubts. There's a difference. There is a massive difference. Do you know what I mean? There's a huge difference between wanting someone to fail and having doubts whether they can actually do well or not. Do you know what I mean? Miz always said he wants Potter to succeed. What type of guy is listening to it? It's crazy. Some people, they just love to come and create a bit of chaos. It is what it is. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, next up, very, very exciting news in regards to Andrey Santos. Him and Brazil, they've won the Sudamericano Sub-20 Championship in South America. So Brazil win the Sudamericano Sub-20 with Chelsea star Andrey Santos scoring 6 goals as midfield and captain of the Brazil national team after $12.5 million deal completed in January. I think it was Fabrizio Romano or someone else that recently said his valuation's already at like 25 million euros. So we're already making money out of Andrey Santos. 6 goals also for Athletic Paranaense striker Vitor Roque. Vitor Roque. This guy's the next big thing, man. This guy is the next big thing. If we can somehow get this guy to be the striker of Chelsea Football Club, I think that would be brilliant. Who remains in Barcelona and Premier League clubs list? I mean, guys, Andrey Santos, I believe, there you go, 6 goals. That's same as like the leading goal scorer as Vitor Roque, and I think a couple of other players as well. 6 goals from midfield. This guy absolutely owned this under-20 championship, South American championship, captain Brazil, and won as well. Honestly, I can't see. I think it was Fabrizio Romano who recently had been saying that the work permit will be done. There's no doubt about that. So the work permit will be taken care of. I know there's some rumors that if the work permit doesn't happen, he's probably going to get loaned out. But I think the work permit will happen. So hopefully that takes place within the next few days. Obviously, now that Brazil, South America under-20 championship is over, hopefully we really hurry up and get this work permit done. And I think the other factor that was required was, something to do with the work permit to show that Andrey Santos is coming on the basis of like a talent basis, work permit. So the fact that Brazil won, I think this is fantastic. Now, with this scenario brewing, I would love to see Andrey Santos in the squad, in the first squad. to be part of the team, in the bench at least, to get some minutes. And I would honestly say someone like Conor Gallagher, I have no issues in Andrey Santos taking over from someone like Conor Gallagher. Like, I don't know what Conor Gallagher really provides for us at the moment. I think someone like Andrey Santos getting those minutes off the bench, I think for the long run, for the long-term sort of, ambition, someone like Andrey Santos is probably wise. I don't know. I feel like Conor Gallagher, I'm not really keen on giving those minutes to him. Let's see what you guys are saying about Andrey Santos. Would you take Andrey Santos in the Chelsea first team squad? And if yes, who would be the player that you would remove from the squad to make some room for Andrey Santos? Let me know. Santos is better than Mount. Connor, there you go. A few people have already put their marker. Arash, thank you so much for the super chat. GP, Graham Potter, we must be humble versus VVP. BVB. Such a hard thing to pronounce. BVB. Graham Potter is a bum manager. Look, as I tweeted the other, I think sometime yesterday, that I don't really care, to be honest. I don't care what Potter says, pre-match, post-match. I know he said that's life recently. Just get me the wins, man. Just get me the wins. Like, I don't care what he says anymore. I think it's all compounded. The fact that we're not winning, whatever he's saying is just making everyone annoyed. So it's all compounding. Once we start winning, I think whatever he says, we'll just brush it under the table. He's not the most charismatic manager out there. We know that. But for me, just get me the wins. Just get me the wins. I don't care what he's saying in the press conference. I don't even watch press conference, if I'm being absolutely honest. The thing I find more worrying about Potter, other than the results, is his post-match interviews, no expression on the touchline, etc. Like, he's just okay with being mediocre and getting draws. The expressions on the sidelines, if he sees that certain things are not working out, he needs to bark orders to get those things moving for him. And I feel like he doesn't do that. Like, if you see Marc Cucurella making all of those backwards and sideways passes, and you don't want him to do that, you need to bark instructions and say, Mark, stop doing that. Or whoever else, if you're seeing certain players that are not doing what you want them to do, you need to be in the sidelines and barking orders. Look at what Sean Dyche is doing at Everton. Do you know what I mean? It's just been there for one game. To be honest, he's scoring 6 goals makes me worry. This guy plays midfield, but always end up in the penalty box. I really hope he has good positional awareness and not another goal hanger like Mount. It's a good point. Look, I've not been watching these South American Under-20 Championship. I've not been watching it. But if you look at the heat map, I've been looking at the heat map. He's spending a lot more time in central midfield. It's just he's looking at certain times to move forward and pick up those goals. A couple of the goals that he's got are from set pieces as well. So, obviously, once we get to watch him play in the Premier League, if he does get an opportunity to play in the Premier League, we'll get to see how his awareness is. But from the heat map, I've been really focused on his heat map. It looks like he's predominantly spending time in the midfield. So I don't think Potter can last if all Chelsea fans will start shouting Potter out. I think, at the end of the day, the owners will feel the pressure once, especially the match-going fans starts going against. If these results continue this way, once they start voicing it, and also in social media, because all of these people are on social media and they see it. Once they see all of this stuff in social media and also from the match goers, things will change very drastically, and they will have to change their stance if the results don't go our way. Gallagher, I agree, should be out. Santos is an amazing player. I agree. Mount, Connor, Ruben Loftus-Cheek out. Yeah, Ruben Loftus-Cheek is another one. He could potentially take Ruben Loftus-Cheek's position, if I'm being absolutely honest. Because I watched the highlights of Santos, and he's a kid. Premier League is levels above, and he needs to go out on loan first, in my opinion. Well, there you go. Pradyumna is saying that he's potentially not ready. But Pradyumna, I just want to ask you, would you perhaps give him opportunity off the bench? Give him those minutes off the bench. Would that be wise as opposed to giving the minutes to Conor Gallagher or Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Because if we achieve top 4 next season without difficulty, then I'm fine. But if we just get top 4 next season after spending 600 million, then that's just disappointing. We are not Arsenal. Well, there you go. There you go. There are different ways to manage. Look at Ancelotti, quiet but with authority. No player will cross him. Problem is, Graham Potter has no authority. I mean, look, I tend to think so as well, but only time will tell. Only time will tell. Okay, next up, ladies and gentlemen, over 400 people live right now. Smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Get those likes up to at least 200 if we can during the live stream. And if you're here for the first time, subscribe. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, when Chelsea made their loan move for Joao Felix, they did so on the proviso that if he impresses, the club will consider adding him to the squad on a permanent basis. I love it. I love it. Look, from the 2 matches we've seen so far, the one against Fulham, he was straight up the clear-cut best player on the field before he got, red carded and suspended for three matches. And of course, against West Ham, along with Enzo Fernandez, he was the standout player. Those two were the absolute standout players, Enzo Fernandez and Joao Felix. So a couple of matches, it looks like Joao Felix is enjoying his time a lot more than what it used to be for him in Atletico Madrid. Pretty much on handcuffs under Diego Simeone, and at Chelsea, it looks like he's got a little bit more freedom to do what he wants to do. I would love it. Look, I want all of us to calm down as well at the same time. I want to stay calm as well with Joao Felix. I want to see how it ends up being by the end of the season. If he absolutely annihilates it, I see no reason why we shouldn't get him and make him a permanent. And I think Joao Felix is loving his time at Chelsea Football Club. He's loving the project. Everything he's saying, he's really enjoying it. So for me, let's do it. Let's absolutely do it. But yeah, we need to stay patient, see exactly how the loan pans out, that he doesn't end up flopping. A couple of matches so far, it's looked really good. I hope it continues that way. And I hope he really, really makes a difference to our team with goals and assists. So far, it's so great to watch him in those pockets of spaces, picking up the passes and then turning and running towards the defense. It's great to see. Not many players can do that. His control with the ball, his dribbling ability, it's looking good. And hopefully, as time goes on, it only is going to get better and better. And I hope he makes a big difference for us in the Champions League as well. So what you guys are saying about this fan base is real. We are backing this pathetic manager from past 5 months. He can't win games, no structure, no idea, clueless. How can we trust him? There is limit for everyone. Look, it all comes down to the owners, isn't it? Like, I think us fans, we've voiced our concerns, and I think we've also voiced that there is a limit. Winning 2 games out of 13 Premier League matches, it's unheard of. I've never seen it in my time of following Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? So this is why I wanted the new owners to come out and sort of explain what their vision is. Why are they so aggressively backing Graham Potter? Why they really think he is the guy? I just need them to sell it to us as well, so that we don't have any sort of confusion. Because right now in the fan base, there is a lot of confusion, and only the owners can help us get out of this confusion. I don't see us winning anything under Potter. I guess time will tell. Players like Mount, Havertz, Ruben Loftus-Cheek are killing the club. Look, lots of players need to move on in the upcoming summer. Lots of players need to move on. Not only are we thinking about bringing players in, but many to leave as well. Players like Joao Felix, if we're thinking about making him permanent, I hope he impresses. Because as soon as he impresses, by the end of the season, if we can make a conclusion that he's impressed, then I think players like Havertz, players like, all of these guys that are not worked out, Pulisic, they got to go. They got to go. Absolutely got to go. In Potter's first season, Brighton finished 16th. There was gradual improvement in the team's form, but can Potter handle a big club with egos? That's the question. Yeah, look, Joao Felix has already put the marker down saying he wants to win the Champions League. Joao Felix is determined to win the Champions League. So it'll be interesting to see how he handles egos. It will be interesting. Look at those big accounts and super fans on Twitter now trying to look like they're backing him from the start. I won't forget how they used to slander and compare him to Mount just because goals and assists. You know what? I'm not going to name names, but I think you guys have all seen, how those large accounts talking down on Joao Felix, and they look very silly now, don't they? They look very, very silly. So, they're eating their words now. I'm not the biggest fan of Potter, but to be honest, he joined at such a bad time. So many injuries, new owners, new players. Everything has been against him so far. So I think give him the rest of the season. No problems. Give him the rest of the season. I think, look, as much as in my personal opinion, I was thinking, do you know what? If we get knocked out against Dortmund, then that's it for me. But I'm putting a marker down right now off the back of what David Ornstein has just dropped in terms of the article stating that Potter is going to stick around. Well, the new owners are not going to judge Potter based on months. They're going to judge Potter based on years. I'm putting a marker down now saying, okay, this season, no problems. We can get knocked out from the Champions League. We can finish mid-table. It's a write-off. I'm happy to accept that this season is a write-off. But next season, before the season starts, I hope we can all come into a bit of a discussion and really think about what is going on. Do you know what I mean? Really think about that. So obviously there's been some adversities, but which manager doesn't face adversities, right? Okay, let's look at the next news. Chelsea owners, do not intend to sign another raft of players in the summer, but are prepared to spend big again in few key positions. One of those will be another forward. So look, looks like we are potentially going to get a forward. I think we do need a striker. Aubameyang will leave. I think, we've said all of that recently. Lukaku, I don't think he's part of Chelsea plans. And Lukaku's absolutely declined. He's finished, to be honest. Armando Broja, there's massive question marks. And Nkunku and Joao Felix, they're not really strikers. And Havertz is not a striker. And Havertz potentially needs to leave as well. So it does leave us an opening to get a striker. There's Vlahovic's name that's getting thrown around. There's, Osimhen's name that's getting thrown around. But Victor Osimhen, I know a lot of people saying this name. Victor Osimhen is going to cost so much money. Look, I would love him. And I would love to see how our owners manage to get this particular player. I would love to see if they can do an absolute madness to get someone like Victor Osimhen. To deal with Napoli ain't going to be easy. Aurelio De Laurentiis over there is going to make our life very difficult. So look, and there's going to be many other clubs that's going to be after Victor Osimhen as well. If we can get him, kudos. But it's going to be one gargantuan effort. Vlahovic, I don't mind as well. He's young. He's got very good qualities, man. He's physical, Serbian background. He's got that dog in him. But yeah, besides that, I can't really think of any other strikers that are doing really well in the world stage. Victor Osimhen is probably the number one striker at the moment. Obviously, there's Ivan Toney in the Premier League. There's Harry Kane. Harry Kane ain't coming to Chelsea Football Club. If anything, he's probably going to sign a contract extension. Ivan Toney is one player I wouldn't mind one bit at Chelsea Football Club, but I don't know what is happening with his gambling stuff. He could potentially be suspended. There's about over 250 cases of his gambling issues. We need to wait to see what happens there before we make any judgment on that. But yeah, you best believe there's probably going to be a striker coming in. There's probably going to be a striker, and there's going to be a hell of a lot of players that we're going to get rid of. Don't forget, Callum Hudson-Odoi as well is a particular player that we should probably think about getting out of Chelsea Football Club. So yeah, let's see what you guys are saying. Ivan Toney is better than Osimhen for us, to be honest. Ivan Toney, look, I will take Ivan Toney. I think I think he's got some attitude issues at times. I just get that vibe. Sometimes he's got those videos, where he said "F Brentford" with this other girl. Obviously now with the gambling stuff, um, yeah, it seems like he could be a hard character to deal with at times. I have no issues if he can manage all of that. Come to Chelsea Football Club. But having said that, I don't know what's happening with the gambling scenario. I don't think it will be wise for Chelsea to get a player like Ivan Toney when we don't know whether he's going to be suspended or not. And Nkunku is not a striker, people. I'm glad you said it, Miz, but please get it into the viewers' heads. Nkunku plays as an advanced mid. Look, he's someone who loves playing just behind a striker. So he's not a striker. He's not a striker. But yeah. Because I honestly see us spending 200 million plus next window. Look, but I think that will be balanced out with some outgoings, with a lot of outgoings, plenty of outgoings. So interesting times. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll wrap things up. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. I really have enjoyed it. And before you go, smash the like button. Let's see if we can bump it up to 200. We've got well over 400 people live. If we can bump it up to 200 likes, that would be fantastic. And subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. And if you smash the bell notification as well to keep in touch with all my content. I shall see you guys with another video tomorrow, later on, around maybe 7:30 p.m. UK time. There is a game, though. There's a game, right? Everton versus Liverpool. So I might do it maybe halftime. I'll try my level best to do it before halftime. Before the match starts. If I can't, halftime. But it's going to be an interesting match, Liverpool versus Everton. I hope Everton wins, man. I get a sneaky feeling I think Everton might win. Until next time, everyone. Take care. See ya.